Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I've got a smile from ear to ear because my Morphe parcel has arrived. So I ordered the 35R palette and the Eye Credible brushes from the official Morphe website. So here it is. I haven't even taken it out of the box. So I thought I'd open it in front of you guys so it would be more fun. Before I open the palette and open my brushes, I'm just going to tell you guys how much the palette and the brushes were altogether. So altogether I spent $72.91. Okay, so the 35R palette was $22.99 and my eye brushes, this is the 12-piece Eye Credible set, and that was $24.99.
$24.99.
And to ship it here I paid another $24.93. So altogether it came to $72.91. I thought that was worth it. I haven't seen this palette on Cult Beauty, nor have I seen these brushes on there, and $24.99 for a set of 12 brushes I thought was well worth it. So let's begin. Let's start opening all the packages now. So the Morphe palette comes in the usual packaging, black box with bubble wrap all around the palette to protect it from any damage, and it's the standard Morphe box with 35R written at the back. So let me open this. These are so pretty. Let me just take the plastic film off first. These are so pretty. So it has 35 shades obviously, but they're sort of split across the palette, which is what I quite like about this palette. So they've got mattes, mostly mattes on one side and mostly shimmers on the other side. Two sort of that one's definitely a bit of a shimmer, that plummy shimmery colour there, and that one's sort of a shimmer. It's got a hint of shimmer in it. I do feel that they have repeated a few shades from the one that I already have, which is the 35K palette. I think I already have this shade here. I know I have that one there, and I think maybe these two at the very bottom, and then the golds on this side all have a different undertone to it. So there's some olive undertone ones here, there's the proper true gold there in the centre, and like a nice coppery gold as well. So yeah, now let's get to swatching. I wore the wrong top to swatch today, but never mind. The way I'm going to do it is swatch the columns, and yeah, going to start with the right side first, so starting with the mattes and then ending to the shimmers. So I'm going to start with this one here first. So I'm just going to do sort of 2 circles in each and just swatch it. Oh, creamy. So it's quite creamy, that one. They're all quite creamy, I think. So both that I've already tried, they're quite creamy. Very different to my 35K palette. I think the 35K was quite chalky, quite powdery, but this one seems to be quite creamy actually. I'm not good at swatches, guys, so you'll have to excuse me there. They're all quite creamy so far. With the other one, with my 35K, when I was swatching it already, I remember having a bit of fallout on the palette itself, but so far so good. No fallout, nothing. So now I'm just going to fast forward through all the swatches because I think they're going to be the same. This one I'm really excited about, the plum shimmer shade. Ooh, that's really pigmented. I don't know if you guys can see. You guys might not be able to see, the camera might not pick it up, but it is so shimmery, and I've only done 2 circles into the palette, and now the orangey shimmery shade. So far I'm really impressed with this palette. What I like about this palette, you can see yourself that they haven't repeated any colours within the palette itself. They're all so different compared to each other. From my 35K, I'm just going to get the palette. With my 35K palette, it looks like when you look at it, you think that some of the shades are sort of repeated. They're quite closely matched, whereas the 35R palette, they're not. They're so different. You can already see it. They're very different from each other. That is such a pretty shade. So nice. I think you can use that one to highlight your brow bone, your inner corners, or even just a highlight on your cheeks. By the way, with the shimmers, I'm just doing one circle for each colour because I think they're so pigmented. You can already see that my fingers are covered. Okay, to sum up, I'm going to conclude with my thought on these shades here. If I do it at the end, I might just forget. So what I liked about this palette, it's got really nice matte shades and shimmer shades. It's quite nicely split across the centre almost, so you're not looking for the colours. So it has some browns, really dark browns, almost black tones as well on the matte side. But it also has some really nice plummy colours as well in the palette. And then going to the shimmery side, all colours are really different to one another. They've all got a different undertone to it. Some are lighter variations than the other, and they've got a nice shimmery black as well. So as I said earlier, this palette was only $22.99, which is really worth what you get in here. There's 35 shades in there, all really creamy. The only downfall I'd say about this palette is that some of the colours may have been repeated, but overall I'm very impressed with this palette. Has really nice brown tones. Like I said earlier, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I'm going to do it anyway. So really nice brown tones, plum tones, gold. You can do so many looks with this. So I'm going to put this away now. I'm going to start with my brushes. These brushes came in this foam leather bag by Morphe. Just going to take that off now. It doesn't smell like leather, but I really like the smell of it. And it's faux leather, so no harm done. No animals were harmed. Now moving on to brushes. So it came with 12 brushes. They're all in its packaging, sort of like plastic sleeves really. So I'm going to run through each and every one of them. So starting with the blending brushes. So it came with two brushes. One is quite a dome shape and the other one is more tapered around the top. The only downfall about these brushes are they don't have a number to it, so if you would recommend it to somebody to buy them, you can't really tell which one it is because there's no numbers, they're not named, but maybe they're supposed to be sold in the eye set. Just going to put these away now. I don't know if I should put them back in its packets. I am such a hoarder when it comes to packaging. I hoard everything up until recently. So I bought my 35K palette ages ago, probably 2 months ago now, and I only got rid of the box a week ago. I hoard all sorts of packaging. I don't need it, but I just keep them. And now moving to its shader brushes. So there's 1, 2, 3 and 4 shader brushes. So this one is quite a massive shader brush. Although it came in the eye credible set, I don't think I'd use this for my eyes. I'd probably use it like a powder or something just to set all the concealer in place on my eyelids, but probably not to use any of the shades in the palette because I feel like you'd waste so much with this brush. There's just so much surface area on this brush and you just waste a lot of product. The next one is a smaller version of this because they're both quite flat, if you can see, and both the same shape as well. This one's just a bit more dense, whereas this one's a little bit more fluffy. So again, very similar. They're just, one's just smaller than the other, so they're quite like flat at the top but rounded at the sides. I don't know what the names are for these, but anyway, so they're quite flat from the sides, and if you turn them, they've got the same shape. This one's just bigger. They're both equally dense, so I think if you had to use a really pigmented shade, or even like any pigments or any glitters or anything, you'd be able to press the product quite nicely. These brushes, I think they're so versatile. You could probably even use them to use it on your lower lash line and your brow bone as well. Another shade of brush. This one's a lot more dense compared to the other ones. The other ones were quite fluffy. The next one is this flat top synthetic brush. I call it the cut crease brush. This one would be quite nice to, when you're doing cut crease, just to outline the crease. You could even use it on your lower lash line again, just to smudge out any eyeliner, or even just apply eyeshadow there. So it also came with 2 pencil brushes. Just going to take it out of the packaging. So 2 pencil brushes. One's obviously bigger and a bit more fluffier. The other one's smaller and slightly denser than the other one. So both of these, again, you could use it in your crease just to soften the crease. If you're doing like a cut crease or something, and it gives you precise blending as well in those areas. But you can also use both of these brushes in your lower lash line. So if you want to use 2 colours in your lower lash line, you could first go in with this one, and then you could go in with the smaller one for a bit more precise wash of colour. The next one is the angled top brush, and it's got a spoolie at the end. So if you guys have been watching my previous videos, then you know that I've broken my Anastasia brow wiz, so I was really glad when this one came with the spoolie end, because I don't know what I'd do without this now. You can use this on your brows, or you can even use this to clean up some mascara if you've got too much of it on your eyelashes, or you could just use them just to separate your eyelashes from each other after applying some mascara. And then this one here, I don't even really use the angled top brush. I probably would use this to contour my nose or something, but I don't have any like brow gels or anything, if that makes sense. You know what I mean, the ones where you fill them in with a gel rather than a pencil. So I don't really have any of those. I prefer using my pencils, but if you had to, then you could use this angle top there. Oh, you could probably also use this to do your eyeliner with this as well. I know a lot of people use the angle top to do their eyeliner. If not, you also have an alternative. You can use this eyeliner brush. So sometimes I use, as you've already seen probably in some of my videos, I've used my Real Techniques liner brush to clean up my eyeliner with some concealer. So you could also use this one as well. So that's 12 brushes all together. They were all only $24.99. That's like $2 per, almost, because it was like $25. That's almost $2 each. If you buy a normal eye brush or foundation brush, any brush, at Boots or wherever, you won't find any which are so cheap. You might get some from Primark, but these are really good quality brushes. So even after paying $24.99 for shipping the brushes and the palette, I think it's still worth it ordering from the Morphe site. If you think about it, so 24 and 24, that's how I calculated it in my mind. That's $48 for the brushes. That's still $4 a brush, which is like £2 something, maybe just nearing £3 each brush. It came with a pouch as well where you could put your makeup brushes, all 12 of these, and it's still got space for a lot more. None of these are sold on Cult Beauty, which is where I normally buy my brushes or any makeup from. So again, I will list the details in the description box below if you guys want to check out the brushes as well as the palette. They do get, well, I don't know about the brushes, but the palette does get sold out really quickly, so you might want to go on it straight away. I was very, very impressed with both of these eye palette as well as my brushes. So that's the end of this video. I hope you guys liked it. So if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to share and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of my videos. But otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!